Hello, and welcome to Chris the Poolman. And here's the tank since the video of it actually being built. Uh, yeah, it's been I think 3 weeks, 4 month now, maybe. Oh my gosh, time goes. uh, and it's been quite a process. So I guess let's begin since then and catch everybody up. So, added water since the end of the last video. Added all the features, adding the water and starting up the filter and everything like that. I'm sure there's a lot of, I guess, questions or whatever, thoughts and things. So, first one I'll get to is like my filter. I know they say, or it would behoove you to put this filter a little bit lower, right? But realistically, it doesn't really matter all too much. If it's kind of like this, you don't want it higher than your fish tank. That's obvious, because I don't think the sucking action on this pump is really great. But like the returning aspect of this pump is amazing. It has enough force, especially if they tell you to put it low, right? If it's underneath your tank, it's got to pump the water all the way up into your tank. It has enough room. So with that being said, it was the only space that I could put it. It didn't actually fit. I did want to put it all the way down here and actually cut out the shelf so I could put it down there. But the hose that came with it, I think they forgot a length, one of the hoses, or maybe not. I mean, I don't know. They only gave me one hose essentially, so I had to cut it in half, and I had to make it make it work. So yeah, that's what I went with, and it's been running perfectly fine. Have not had a problem. No complaints. The Fluval 207. I mean, the thing's amazing. Like, my water is crystal clear. I mean, we've added a lot of this coral stuff and shells and stuff like that to help with calcium naturally, and to give other places, other whatever features, added extra rock fragments and stuff, and it's gotten cloudy and stuff in a few hours, boom, it's crystal clear again. Have not had a problem. Highly recommend. It's very simple and portable. Again, I didn't need a sub pump because I don't have an extreme bioload, and I'm not going for an extreme bioload, at least not on this tank. Again, this is my starting tank, beginning tank, so I'm trying to keep it very simple and learn. I will get another tank. I've already seen them. I already purchased it. I already have an area picked out. It's going to be on this side of the room. I'm going to have a camera and everything for it, and that tank I'm going to have some things. Anywho, that's in the future. Regardless, here we go. So, it's been about 3 weeks in the beginning. Like the first week I had added this stuff. It is called Fishies 9. It's live nitrifying bacteria. Yes, I already had some of the bacteria, in my sand and the gravel that I showed you, the Carib Sea live sand and stuff, and the water that I'm using, the Imaginarium water. But I have all this other surface area of the rocks and stuff. So I added some of that, as well as I was adding fishless fuel by Fishies as well. It's just ammonia. I'm assuming, a liquid ammonia. And I was just adding drops of this every day. To try and speed up my cycling or help the cycling, build up a bigger colony of bacteria, shall we say. And I never actually got an algae bloom, as you can see. I mean, there's not a dang thing. It's really spotless. Like, really freaking spotless. That also deals with my circulation too. I just never got the algae bloom. So with that said, I never knew if my cycle ever completed. I tested really, every day. I have the liquid test kits. I even bought, strips as well, just to make sure, double check, I had everything to make sure. And my ammonia never actually went really high. I think like 0.5 was like the highest it went. Nitrates, it never even freaking went up, and nitrites, sorry, never really went up, but nitrates did to like about, I think like a 10. So with that, I was like, oh well, if there's nitrates and the cycle, in a little small bit of ammonia, I guess it's just going right through, and just assumed it was going. But again, I never got algae, and I've always had algae. But here's the thing, it's not me, it was my mom's fish tank. So maybe she didn't know how to do proper water chemistry or whatever, but we always had, growing up in my mom's saltwater tanks, we always had algae or whatever. And I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm using a phosphate pad. Actually, maybe that is the stock one, I think, comes with a phosphate pad, but like maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I can't really complain. It's beautiful. Okay, so I didn't know if it actually cycled. So with that said, I was like, oh, I really want to see if it cycled. So like a few days before Christmas, I put in a bit of ammonia and raised it up quite a bit to about 1, to see if what would happen or whatever. And then Christmas time came around, and I was checking it, and it was actually slowly going down. And it got to about a 0.5 by Christmas, and my better half decided to jump the gun, and she just wanted they were looking at fish, and they found these two. They were a great pair. They were already paired. They're young, very young, Ocellaris, I think. Ocellaris, I think is how you say it. Clownfish. They're paired. They're great. They are so. We'll get into that like later on. But she got me these pair and a cleaner shrimp. So surprise! And I was like, oh my gosh, the ammonia is at a 0.5. Like I can't put fish in. So we had to do rush and stuff, and anywho, I tested my chemicals, and my chemicals actually weren't that bad. It was a 0.25 ammonia. What was it for the nitrite? I think nitrites I think were 0.25 as well. My pH was 7.8 at the time, and my nitrates were still at a 10. It was kind of worrying. So we acclimated them and this and that, and unfortunately the shrimp did not make it the night. He was fine in the beginning, and then that was weird. He was perfectly fine, and then it just was gone, overnight. We it was within 5 minutes. We were watching him, and she was like, I don't think he's doing right. He just kind of fell over on his side, and that's it. So since then it was real worrisome, daddy kind of thing, daddy mode picked in, oh my god, I don't want them to worry or die or anything like that. So it was a real rush to try and figure out what the heck I could do. So before just dumping in a ton of chemicals, there was a choice, and my choice was wait a day or two, and actually see. And I can't even say wait a day or two. I think they got me actually to the 24th, the day before Christmas is when she got them, and the 26th. So the day after. So we had them for 2 days, and I was testing the water to see if things would change, if the ammonia wouldn't go down or anything, but. No, it was actually, the ammonia was going up a little bit, but the nitrates were going up as well, and the nitrites, where everything was going up. But that means that it was cycling, but there was just a huge load. I don't really know how to explain it. But anywho, I decided to do I had salt water, I have water. So, I did a water change, and I went to the store and bought this Prime by Seachem. which I don't know if it really helped. It's helped, yeah, absolutely. But Prime by Seachem, it's a concentrated conditioner. It detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrates, and chlorine and chloramine. But I don't have to worry about that because I'm not using tap water or anything like that. But it's the ammonia lock and stuff like that that's in it that I wanted to use. Every time you touch something, they're like, "Oh, is it food?" Well, it's actually almost food time for them. But anywho, yeah. So I used that. I did I think it was like a 15% water change, and tested my chems, and they've been rock solid, amazing ever since. I've also been adding like the day after and then today as well. They've been rock solid, spot on. None of it, they're perfect. pH enhancer, I'm like almost out of that. To bring it up, my pH from 7.8 to finally, I'm at like an 8 right now, and that's fine. I don't want to go any higher at the moment. There's not like a huge swing. It's just the problem is I can't like get it up. My alkalyte is perfectly fine. So with that, we've had them for 4 days now, I guess, and they're great. I have not seen a problem. They took well to the tank very quickly. Now behind that piece of PVC, I know it's very crude. It's like, oh, why the heck do you have that? But behind that, on the bottom of my tank, and as you guys watched in the first video, it was mostly, this tank was going to be set up for peacock mantis shrimp, but it's winter season up by me right now, and for tropical fish stores, it's pretty hard to get a lot of these tropical things. Well, even the season in general, it's pretty beat right now all around to get like a lot of these tropical fish. So yeah, there's like a massive wait list and blah 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 and so on and so forth. And realistically, I've seen a lot of tanks setups, and my mom growing up, I've been around a lot of predator fish tank setups. And you got to understand the difference of their levels or where they live. In clownfish, they don't go down here. They don't go on the bottom ever. Like originally, before I even had that, I was hoping that they were going to take home in this cave, but they don't go down here. Like never. They just stay up here on the top. So behind here, I have like for the peacock mantis shrimp, an artificial cave with PVC and a Y behind this rock that follows this arch up, and behind this elbow is the other elbow that comes out. Well, they immediately went inside that elbow, and then we're going down into the pipe, and they made the whole pipe their home, and I was like, oh well, no, that can't happen. We don't want them to never be seen, or it's not even that. It's just no, I don't want them to go in a pipe because God forbid something. They were very new to the tank. I didn't want them to die in there, and then you gotta like rip apart your tank to try and fish out 2 fish that are in there. So I had blocked off the lower 2 entrances and that entrance behind there. And then I had a spare elbow, and I just put the elbow right on top of that archway, and it fits really nice on there. It's not glued or anything like that, and actually I just noticed it still has its dang sticker on it. What a jerk. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. Well, we're gonna get an anemone, so that's just like a placeholder. That's the other thing. You hope that an anemone is going to stay there, but the anemone will walk around and get a perfect footing where it wants to be in the tank. So that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, we wanted to keep them nice and comfy, and we knew that they wanted some. So right when we put that in there, boom, that was it. They swam right in that thing. It was like, we love it, and you could tell they like it. They do like little quick dances. Or as you can see right now, they hang out in it. We put some gravel in it and stuff like that. And they love it. See a little jitter dance? They're such little boogers. Really cool fish. They really have some interesting personalities, like what they do and everything like that. So they'll do a little dance. So they've been thriving and surviving for quite some time. 4 days now. And they're happy. They eat great. How my circulation is you could see. And that was another thing that I was always questioning. Like, oh, I think I got worried because you get like the worrisome, like if they're stressed out, because again, clownfish act very erratic. Like they're not like just like lazy fish like they can be, but see, then they do like dances like that. And it's like it's just. So like in the beginning you like worry, you're like, oh my god, that's so bad. I can't believe why is the fish doing that? And you like research and yada yada. I went down one rabbit hole thinking that was maybe like my airflow. My airflow is completely fine. I just added some water, so it's not very turbulent on the top as it was, but as the water slowly evaporates, it gets more turbulent on the top of the water, like a lot more turbulence on the water. And I had my fan down a little bit up higher, but I opted to move it because I noticed that over here, food would collect up. It was just like a dead spot. So once I moved this fan down to here, and it blows and creates like this nice cross draft, I can't even really see much food down there at all. I mean, there is pieces. And here's the other thing. I think probably at this point, since my chems are spot on, I can definitely get a crab or something like that. And that's something I'm really interested in to help clean up some of this dead matter on the bottom. Yeah, you can vacuum it out and stuff, but I opted to keep some of it down there, to help create food for the bacteria and stuff, and B, to have stuff hidden away in places for crabs and stuff to come and get. And I'm looking closely, right? I'm looking closely. It is. That has to be. It is. Oh man, see, I jinxed myself, everybody. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you can actually see the spotting on my PVC pipe, and this rock is like white. It's supposed to be completely white, but you can actually see algae growth. You can actually see algae growth on my PVC back there. So yeah, there's algae in there now. Let's hope it doesn't just get out of control. So feeding them, I feed them marine flakes, flavored with garlic, omega-1. They're high in protein, fat, fiber, and the omegas and the ashes and stuff. Has a little bit of garlic, which is good for them. And I also use frozen food. What is it? Yeah, shrimp, like brine shrimp, and there's other little things. I haven't used bloodworms. I don't know if I'm gonna try and use bloodworms, but they go berserk for all food. I mean, I use the tweezers, and it's just like, put a couple little flakes and just put it in there and forget it. They go absolutely bonkers. Like they love it. They'll eat it right from the right from the tweezers. But what I've noticed is they really enjoy. There's actually a little piece floating. I'm wondering if he's gonna go for it. He's probably not. But when we just splash it on the top and stuff like that and break it all out, and it gets in a water column and it starts to circulate, they really like to chase their food. They really enjoy doing that. So yeah. the heater's working great. It's been maintaining 82 degrees. 81, 82 is what I keep it at. I've had it at 78 for quite some time. But they like it, but I'm trying to get some anemones or whatever, so I want a little bit warmer of water, as well as the pH. I want it up a little bit more. So that's what we're doing, slowly adjusting it. In terms of clownfish, I've been hearing online that they're very hardy fish and everything, and I've witnessed it. I mean, we got them in unfortunate circumstances with my water, but they held on, and I'm so happy because they're so interesting. They have all kinds of different, like, right now they're just hanging out there, but before I started the video, they were swimming all around the tank, and they just go around and they scout out and everything like that. Again, they don't really go all too low at all. They kind of just pick out a spot in the tank. That's their turf, and that's that. As long as the biggest thing is or what is it? What am I trying to say? The biggest thing is trying to just giving them what they want. What naturally they want. They instead of they like to hide. Not really hide, but like feel safe and like a little home, a little shelter. And it's not an enemy. Sorry. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed. Pretty long video. I'm sorry for that. It's my first video. It's just like kind of like a live thing. I don't know. Yeah. Update you in the future. Any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. Stay beautiful.